Hi there. Welcome to Spooky Entertainment. Before we get into the storytelling, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now, let's get into it. Number 1. Once upon a time, in a quiet suburban neighborhood, there lived a family of 4. The parents, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, decided to take a well-deserved vacation during the Halloween season, leaving their 2 children, Emily and Jacob, home alone. The kids were thrilled at the prospect of having the house to themselves and imagined all the fun they would have. The day arrived, and their parents bid them farewell, reminding them to stay safe and not to open the door to strangers. As the sun set, the siblings settled into their cozy home, eagerly anticipating their evening of independence. However, little did they know that an eerie presence lurked in the shadows. As the clock struck midnight, strange occurrences began to unfold. Soft whispers echoed throughout the house, chilling the air. The siblings exchanged uneasy glances but tried to dismiss their growing sense of unease. They convinced themselves that their imaginations were running wild in the Halloween spirit. Suddenly the lights flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Emily and Jacob's hearts raced, their nerves reaching a crescendo. They clung to each other, seeking comfort in their shared fear. They decided to investigate and crept through the dimly lit corridors, guided only by the flickering candlelight. As they reached the living room, they froze in terror. The furniture was rearranged, as if someone had been playing a twisted game of musical chairs. The atmosphere grew heavier, and the air became thick with an unexplainable presence. A sense of foreboding settled over them, making it clear that they were not alone. Their eyes widened as they noticed a shadowy figure moving in the corner of the room. A cold, raspy voice pierced the silence, whispering their names. Fear clutched at their throats as they realized there was an intruder in their home. Panic surged through their veins, and they had to summon every ounce of courage to stay composed. Desperate to escape, the siblings tiptoed toward the front door, only to find it locked from the inside. Their hearts sank, and the realization that their parents' warning had come true struck them. They were trapped with an unknown presence. Frantically, they searched for a means of communication, hoping to reach out to their parents or the authorities. But to their horror, all the phones were dead, as if their connection to the outside world had been severed. The intruder seemed to revel in their isolation, taunting them from the shadows. With each passing moment, the siblings grew more determined to survive. They scoured the house for any makeshift weapons, arming themselves with whatever they could find. They devised a plan to make a dash for the neighbor's house, hoping for salvation from the nightmare that had befallen them. As they sprinted through the moonlit streets, their hearts pounding in their chests, they glanced back to see the shadowy figure pursuing them. Panic fueled their adrenaline, urging them to run faster, their breaths coming in ragged gasps. Finally, they reached their neighbor's doorstep, pounding on the door with every ounce of strength left in them. The door swung open, revealing a bewildered neighbor who quickly realized the terror the children had endured. They called the police, who arrived promptly to investigate the eerie events. The house was thoroughly searched, but no trace of the intruder was found. To this day, the Thompson family still shudders at the memory of that fateful Halloween night. The siblings, forever changed by their harrowing experience, developed a newfound appreciation for the safety and comfort of their home. And so, the tale of their real-life home alone nightmare serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes the scariest things are not the supernatural, but the dangers that can lurk in the darkest corners of our own world. Number 2. Once upon a time in a small town, there lived a young boy named Alex. It was the holiday season, and Alex's family was getting ready to go on a much-anticipated vacation to visit their relatives. However, due to unforeseen circumstances, Alex's parents realized they had to leave earlier than planned and couldn't change their travel arrangements. Alex, who was 12 years old, was supposed to stay with his older sister, but she fell ill and had to stay at a friend's house. With no other options available, it was decided that Alex would have to stay home alone for a few days until his parents could return. Although a bit apprehensive, Alex felt excited at the prospect of having the house all to himself. On the morning of their departure, Alex's parents left detailed instructions for him, including emergency contacts, safety guidelines, and reminders to lock all the doors and windows. They assured him they would call every day to check on him, and they had also asked some friendly neighbors to keep an eye on the house. The first day on his own went by without incident. Alex spent his time watching movies, playing video games, and enjoying the freedom of having the house to himself. However, as the second day arrived, things started to get a little more interesting. In the evening, while Alex was playing his favorite video game, he noticed some unusual sounds coming from outside the house. He paused the game and walked towards the window to investigate. Peering out, he saw two suspicious-looking individuals lurking around the neighborhood, seemingly casing the houses. Realizing that his house might be their next target, Alex sprang into action. He quickly closed all the blinds and turned off the lights, trying to make it appear as though no one was home. He then went upstairs to his parents' bedroom, where they kept a phone extension, and dialed the emergency number. He explained the situation to the police dispatcher, who assured him that help was on the way. In the meantime, Alex had to think of a way to protect himself and his home. He remembered the various booby traps used by the character in his favorite movie, Home Alone, and thought it might be worth a try. Alex gathered whatever he could find around the house, including marbles, toy cars, and a bucket of water. He strategically placed the marbles on the staircase, set up the toy cars to trigger an alarm system if someone stepped on them, and positioned the bucket of water on top of the front door, ready to fall on anyone who tried to enter. With his makeshift defenses in place, Alex retreated to his room, where he waited anxiously for the police to arrive. Minutes felt like hours, but finally the sound of sirens grew closer. The police quickly surrounded the house, and with Alex's guidance, they apprehended the two individuals who had been lurking around. Relieved and feeling proud of his resourcefulness, Alex thanked the police officers for their prompt response. His parents arrived back home a day earlier than planned, having received the news of the incident. They were incredibly proud of their brave and quick-thinking son, who had successfully defended their home. From that day on, the story of Alex's courage and ingenuity spread throughout the neighborhood. The local newspaper even wrote an article about the Home Alone hero. Alex became a symbol of bravery for other children and an inspiration to many. In the end, the experience taught Alex important life lessons about independence, problem-solving, and staying calm in challenging situations. And though his family would always remember their real-life Home Alone adventure, they also made sure to have a plan in place for future situations, ensuring that everyone's safety and well-being would come first. Number 3. Once upon a time, in a small suburban town, there lived a mischievous and imaginative 10-year-old boy named Ethan. It was a frosty winter's day, just a few days before Christmas, when Ethan's parents informed him that they needed to travel out of town urgently to attend to a family emergency. Unfortunately, there was no one available to take care of Ethan, so they made the difficult decision to leave him home alone for a few days. At first, Ethan was excited about the prospect of having the entire house to himself. He imagined all the fun he could have, the freedom to do whatever he pleased, and being the master of his own domain. Little did he know that his adventure would turn into a real test of his wit and bravery. On the first day, Ethan woke up late, relishing the luxury of sleeping in. He spent the morning eating cereal straight from the box and watching his favorite cartoons. As the day progressed, Ethan's excitement grew, and he started brainstorming various creative ideas to make the most of his time alone. He decided to build an elaborate obstacle course throughout the house, using furniture, cushions, and household items. Ethan spent hours arranging chairs, setting up a slide using blankets, and creating a challenging path to navigate. He even rigged up a makeshift zipline using a clothesline and a skateboard. However, as Ethan completed his masterpiece, he heard a strange noise coming from outside. Curiosity piqued. He peeked through the window blinds and noticed a group of suspicious-looking individuals lurking around his neighbor's house. Concerned, Ethan realized that he needed to take action. Drawing inspiration from his favorite movie, Home Alone, Ethan hatched a plan to outsmart the potential burglars. He started setting up traps around his house, just like the resourceful character in the film. He strategically placed marbles on the floor to trip the intruders, positioned buckets filled with water above the doorways, and rigged up toy cars to serve as early warning systems. As night fell, Ethan's nerves began to tingle. The burglars, unaware that Ethan was alone, attempted to break into his house. But one by one they fell prey to his cleverly laid traps. The marbles sent them sprawling across the floor, the buckets drenched them in water, and the toy cars alerted Ethan to their presence. With each failed attempt, the burglars grew increasingly frustrated and bewildered by their encounters with a seemingly supernatural force. Ethan, hidden away in a secret hiding spot, reveled in his triumph. His mischievous genius had turned the tables on the would-be thieves. Eventually, the police arrived, alerted by a neighbor who had noticed the commotion. Ethan, now feeling a mix of adrenaline and relief, emerged from his hiding spot to the astonishment of the officers. They praised his bravery and quick thinking, recognizing that his traps had helped foil the burglary attempt. Word of Ethan's heroic defense spread throughout the town, and he became a local celebrity. News outlets featured his story, and he was even invited to share his adventure on a popular talk show. Ethan's parents, upon their return, were both proud and grateful for their resourceful son. From that day forward, Ethan's Home Alone adventure served as an inspiration to many, reminding them of the power of creativity, bravery, and quick thinking, even in the face of unexpected challenges. And for Ethan, it became a cherished memory and a tale to be passed down through generations, reminding them of the incredible things one can achieve with a little imagination and ingenuity. That's all for today. Let me know how you liked the video in the comment section below. And if you would like to share your spooky experience, please send it to our email listed in the description box below. See you next time.